So to the dynamic family interview area we go. And one more time, here is Joni Smith.
Well, it's Sophie, it's me, it's Dr. Marquart, but you know what I'm going to do? This is such a special hour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just sit back and I'm going to let Super Sophie take the interview over. And the reason we're doing that is you two have quite the relationship. It's Dr. Katie Marquart. Welcome. Welcome very much, pediatric endocrinologist here at Gunderson Health System. Yep. And you two have quite a bond. Look at that. Calls are already coming in. And when you hear that, that's a really good noise. So are you ready, honey?
I am.
All right, get started.
How long have you been a pediatric doctor?
I have been a pediatric doctor for about 11 years, and I've done pediatric endocrine for 8 of those years.
Can you explain to people what an endocrinologist is?
Yeah, that's a big word. So I take care of kids who have issues with their hormones. Hormones are signaling molecules in the body that tell other parts of your body to do all kinds of important things. So I take care of kids who have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. I take care of kids who might be short or too tall, growing too fast or too slow, kids whose thyroid gland, which sits in your neck, might not be working well, and then kids who might be having puberty too early or too late. So a lot of really different but interesting things.
Why did you choose to be a pediatric doctor?
I have always loved working with kids, so I always knew I was going to do something for a job where I could see kids and work with them every day. I really was interested in health and health care, so I knew really early on, actually when I was about 10, that I wanted to do pediatrics. But it wasn't until I was in college when my twin brother was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes that I really became familiar with the field of peds endocrinology and decided for sure that that's what I wanted to do.
Do you have a favorite part of being a pediatric doctor?
I do. It really is working with kids every day. Kids are a lot of fun. They are very resilient, very adaptable. They are trying to, I think, find the joy and the happiness and the play in everything that they do. And I really appreciate being able to be in that kind of an environment every day when I go to work.
How does CMN help you in your work?
That's a great question. CMN really allows me to be a better doctor and allows me to take the best care of my patients. So there are certain things that I might be recommending or asking families to do, and it's one thing for me to say that, but it's another thing for families to then actually be able to go out and practically do that. So one example would be for kids like you who have type 1 diabetes, I'm asking them to take insulin medicine multiple times a day, which you have to give by injection, or prick your finger to check a blood sugar multiple times a day. And that's hard. That's a big disruption in your day-to-day routine. But there are different technologies that can help you do that, help kids and their families do that. And CMN has been a huge part of my practice in helping kids and their families be able to get that kind of technology, which really makes their day-to-day quality of life, I think, so much better, but also their health is so much better because of that.
What is your favorite part about Children's Miracle Network?
My favorite part of Children's Miracle Network is that their donations, their funds really stay local. So there's certainly value in contributing to organizations that work nationally or internationally to find new medications or cures for disease. But CMN, when you donate to CMN, I can see that patient walk into my office 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, and I can see that insulin pump that CMN helps support. I can see those meals that families have been eating in the hospital that CMN has helped support. It's very tangible, and I love that about the organization.
Why do you think people should help Children's Miracle Network?
I think that it's really exciting to be able to help an organization that really focuses on kids. Kids really are the future, and I think anytime somebody has an opportunity to improve the quality of life of kids, especially when they are your neighbors, I think that that's an easy, wonderful reason to be able to help CMN.
What do you think people should know about Children's Miracle Network?
One thing that people probably don't realize, because I didn't fully realize until I actually started working at Gunderson, is just the scope of, in all the many different ways that CMN helps children and helps their families. So I initially, when I started working at Gunderson, I knew of CMN, but I only knew them to be participating in the Miracle Treat Day at Dairy Queen. It was a good reason for me to go get a Blizzard at Dairy Queen a couple times a year. And then when I started working here and working with the CMN organization, I really learned all the different things that they provide. So we've already mentioned help with, diabetes supplies, medications, meal tickets, transportation, grants, but helping kids go to diabetes camp or horse therapy or, all these other different medical services. I think somebody earlier in the Radiothon had mentioned supporting adaptive clothing so that kids who might have ports can have special clothing that doesn't interfere with that and just helps kids, keep their dignity. So really just the scope of ways that they help kids and their families is just astounding, and it's been really exciting to learn about all of that.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell everyone?
I guess I'd like to tell everybody that these heroes who you've probably seen on billboards around the community, they really are amazing kids. I've had the pleasure of working with several of them, and their stories are incredible, and I think it really doesn't, a little bit of donation goes a long way. So if you're thinking about, you swing through a coffee shop and spend $5 on a fancy drink, that really can make a huge difference in somebody's life when they are asking CMN for help. So it really doesn't take much, and I really think everybody should take the opportunity and donate to this amazing organization.
You're not done yet, young lady. I have a couple more things. Fabulous job, you two. You guys know each other quite well, don't you?
We do.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, so what we need to do next, are you ready for this one?
Yes.
We need to give the phone number so people can call in the pledge. Okay, so right now, just with the two of you having your conversation, we've had 8 phone calls come in.
That's pretty good.
That's right. All right, are you able to see the phone number?
Yes.
Can you see the phone number over there? Okay, so please give the phone number and please ask people to call it.
Please call us at 608-784-KIDS at 608-784-5437.
The two of you are a dynamic duo.
Can I ask Sophie a question?
I was just about, you're reading my mind because all the questions have come from this side. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Absolutely. Whatever's on your mind.
I want to know what your favorite part of being a CMN hero is or was.
Well, it was really fun to be a CMN hero because you get to do all this, like the Radiothon and activities. And I think it's really cool that they help kids like me with their needs.
And I want you to tell me about what you think of the Emerald Ball in the springtime, which is also another CMN event.
The Emerald Ball is really fun. I went to it 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed it.
It's also one of my favorite events. It's a great reason to get dressed up, have some fun, have a nice dinner, and help support the community.
Yes. definitely.
And if I remember correctly, you had a very active table bidding on some desserts and also artwork.
Yes.
You know, Dave Kennedy and I, we're up in the front of the room at the Emerald Ball, and as we're surveying, we see where the activity is coming from, and we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for your support as well.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I was initially invited by Dr. Todd Marr, who I think was also interviewed for this year's Radiothon.
Yes, he
And
was here yesterday.
Yeah, so between the two of us, we filled our table and we had an excellent time that night.
At one point, and I think this is common knowledge, Dr. Marr's wife was grabbing his arm, holding it down a little bit as he got really active with it. But 10 calls have come in, and we love that. It's 608-784-KIDS, 608-784-5437. Is there anything? You have done a spectacular job.
Thank you.
Here's a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think maybe journalism or interviewing may be a part of your future, something you may want to do?
It might, yeah.
Okay. All right. How about maybe a camp counselor? You enjoy camp.
I do.
Did you know that that Sophie went back to Camp Needlepoint again this summer?
I did, yeah. I think that diabetes camp is one of the best places on earth for kids who have type 1 to be in that environment. I'm sure you talked a little bit about how a lot of times kids with type 1 may be the only one in their group of friends or even in their school, or sometimes with smaller communities, the only one in their community. But when you go to diabetes camp, you're just one of 200 kids there, and so you get to take a little bit of a mental break and a little bit of an emotional break from being a little bit different.
And Sophie gave me some new information. I didn't realize that the camp counselors at Camp Needlepoint also type 1 diabetes people.
Yep.
So I didn't realize that either. See, you learn something new every day.
Yes.
And supporting a camp like that, I mean, that is just incredible.
Yeah, I had the opportunity when I was in medical training to be one of the medical staff there. So we get to be there and assist the counselors and assist the kids in providing some of that medical care, so that they really do just get to focus on having fun. There is a little educational component where the counselors and the medical staff are teaching kids about type 1, but most of it by far is just a lot of fun.
Children's Miracle Network comes in handy for that as well, because budgets sometimes don't allow for a camp like that for these kids.
Correct.
And, you know, Sophie, I know you do a lot of fun things in the summer, but that's got to be a big part of your summer.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Big part of your summer. We were talking about kayaking. What were some of the other things that you mentioned that you love?
Swimming, archery. We play games there. We played a game called Predator versus Prey, and it's really fun because you can go like all over camp with your cabin.
See, now you learned something.
Now I learned
Did
something.
you know about the
I did
Predator and
not.
Prey?
No.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Dr. Katie Marquart, for spending time with us. I know you have 2 little ones at home, and sometimes spreading your time thin on the weekends, that's tough to do, but thank you for making the effort for coming in.
This is absolutely well worth it. Absolutely.
And what do you think about this one?
I think she's pretty
let's hear it
incredible.
for the interviewer over here. That's right. Phone banks are still open, 608-784-KIDS. You're listening to CMN Hospital's Radiothon. Put your money where the miracles are, a service of the La Crosse Media Group.
I'll tell you what, I think Sophie's going to put us out of business. That's what I think. Absolutely right. 784-KIDS, 784-5437 on our Versity Blood Center, Wisconsin phone bank. Keep the calls coming in. Miss Wild West Royalty, they're working the phones over there. You guys aren't falling asleep yet, are you? No? Okay. We don't want that to happen. They're doing a great job over there, so let's keep them working. Time's starting to evaporate on us a little bit. It's a little after 10:30 now. That means we're only got a few hours left to go. We really want to push this. We're doing great, but we need you to be a part of it to get it where we need it. 608-784-KIDS. 784-5437, Oral Surgery Clinic of La Crosse, our big title sponsor for the day today. We thank them so very much as well. 608-784-KIDS, 784-5437 on the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals Radiothon right here on Kicks 106.3.